once again for the renegade master. Back 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 once again for the renegade master.
So here we are back again with Love is Blind season 4, and yes, we are at the weddings. So here's me gonna be wondering if my predictions were right, but we shall get into it now. So where we left off was Chelsea has said I do, and Kwame was waiting for Kwame to say what he was gonna say. So we pan back, they're both on their plinth, you know, where they're getting married, and they said their vows to each other. And I swear down, you could have knocked me down with a bleeding feather. Kwame said yes. I was not expecting that outcome. And if you really want to know, the words I actually said was, Mira, did him say yes? I actually could not believe he said yes, because all I would say is his actions did not show that he was going to say even a hint of yes in the freaking slightest. And Chelsea was just like pushing, because I think Chelsea would have said yes regardless. Anyway, she would have said yes regardless, because Chelsea's at a point where she really wants to get married, and I don't care who it would have been up there. Chelsea would have said yes to be fair. But then we skip forward to them, like, you know, she's all excited and, oh my God, we're married, you're my husband, da 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 da. And why does Kwame always look like he smells shit? Every single time that man looks so uninterested. I'm like, dude, you just got married to the woman. You just said yes to the woman. Where's your bloody excitement? I didn't see not a bean of excitement. And if you actually looked closely when they were at the table and they were talking, and Chelsea said something to him in regards to, like, you're my husband forever. And he was just like, squint, you know, the little squint I've told you about before. And then he kind of looked away. Now, I hope they stay married, but my gut feeling is they probably won't stay married. Yeah, I just, you will have to tell me what you think in the comments, because I would say that Kwame still looked uninterested. Dude had, as I said, just got married to Chelsea. Chelsea is excited, and he just looks so uninterested in the whole event, to be fair. And then we skip to Micah and Paul. Now, the key thing with Micah and Paul is the fact that Paul had so many reservations going in. He literally had so many reservations going in. They still praised each other. Paul was still praising her when he was talking to, like, his brother and his friends, basically saying that they see the world similarly. And the friends were saying to him that they never really saw that side of him. But then Paul is questioning whether what they have is sustainable for the near future, and whether he could actually see himself having children with Micah. And as it is, we all know that they get up there, they get to that point, they get up there, and Micah asks Paul to say what he needs to say first, because I believe out of all of it, Micah was going to say yes, but she wanted to know what Paul was going to say before she even versed those words. And true to form, Paul basically said no, gave her all these reasons as to why he was saying no. And you could literally see Micah broken at that altar. She literally broke. Right, so I don't know if you's lot clocked as well within Paul and Micah's wedding, when Paul said what he said and then Micah walked off upset, and then you clocked her friend, especially the troll looking one, the blonde haired looking one, can't ever remember her name, but she sat there saying, oh, well, I'm happy with this outcome because I called it. And I'm just like, hold on a second, you just seen your friend literally destroyed up there, and all you can think about is, I need my gotcha moment in regards to the pain that your friend's now going through because the dude said no and you were happy with the outcome. That tells me, I'm sorry, that truly tells me that you are not a true friend to Micah. You truly aren't. And it also tells me the quality of friends that Micah surrounds herself with. They're not good people at all. And it'll probably seem why now it was fitting for her when her and Arena started to gel the way that they gel, and they became so horrible when they were together, because that's how her friends ride, and that's how she rides with her friends. I thought it was absolutely disgusting and appalling. Her friend said that, and then I noted that when they went to the back, only the mum comforted her. I didn't see none of her friends go up to her and comfort her and say it's okay, everything will be good. Not a one of them. So, but you let me know what you think in the comments. And she told him the reason why she let him go first is because she didn't feel safe with him at that point in order to be comfortable to say yes, because I honestly believe she was going to say yes. And I did predict that Paul was going to say no. In that regard, I predicted that those two weren't going to get married. So then after that, as normally would, Micah's upset, she runs off. Paul starts to follow her. Basically, she wants to be on her own. She doesn't want to have any interaction with him. So he did try to speak to her and told her that he loved her, and then wondered then if he made the wrong choice. And I'm like, dude, you already made your choice. You already made your choice. You can't go back on it now. I don't understand where people come into this aspect of the program and then know what the end result is, but then when they said no, I don't know if in their mind they're thinking, well, maybe we could pick off, like, you know, when all this is finished and start dating each other. It doesn't work like that, because you just hurt the person who's been telling you throughout the whole freaking series that she loves you. So I don't understand where you get the gumption to think that, oh, maybe we could start dating each other. We don't have to get married right now, but we could start dating each other. The one thing I will bring up from that is when Micah's mum, basically, you know, she's her mum, she's going to comfort her, she's going to say the things that she's going to say about Paul. But when she mentions about the fact that, why did he come here for to do that? I always say that from what I've seen on Love is Blind, going through the process, that none of these people ever think that there's a 50-50 chance that this person may say no, and I may need to prepare myself for that no. No matter how hard it hurts, in terms of you wanting a yes, that person may say no. So you need to prepare for that. But nobody that I've seen in this program actually prepares for a no. So then you get the issue, as I said, is what happened with Micah and Paul. And then we move to my favourite couple. I was going to talk about them at the end, but you know what? I just wanted to get to them so quickly. Brett and Tiffany. Oh my God. All I kept on saying was, if these two do not get married, if these two do not say yes to each other, I am going to be so severely upset. And I don't mean just like a little bit upset. It will be the whole hug, like ugly cry upset. That's how upset I would have been if them two did not say yes to each other. But I'd have to say the whole wedding with Brett and Tiffany just made me emotional. And yes, I did cry. I did cry, especially when it came to the vows. And when they actually both said, I do, I was like, oh my God. Their wedding was just so different to all the other weddings on the Love is Blind franchise that I've experienced. Their wedding was just so heartfelt. You could tell that they loved each other, and you could tell that there was just love all in that room. And not forgetting that you've got two sets of parents as well to Brett and Tiffany, who are still together some 40 odd years later. They're still married to each other and they're still going strong. So these two have had the experience of growing up and watching what a marriage should look like, and that's where they probably will model some of their behavior from. But they're already on good standing with each other in terms of how they react to each other, how they compliment each other, how they validate each other. And I could keep going on and on and on about these two, but I won't. But you can tell that I love them. I absolutely love them, and I wish them all the bloody best. Like, seriously. So also in Brett and Tiffany's wedding, I also have to talk about the fact that Brett had to go get his trousers fixed was it an hour or so before the wedding? I'm not too sure, but you can let me know in the comments. So he went and got his trousers fixed because, to be honest, the fit was awful. The trousers fit was awful. So I understood that he wanted to look good. It was his day and he wanted to look good. He did get a bit bridezilla-ish, but he still went and he managed to get his trousers fixed and he went back. And I think the most heartfelt thing that I seen as well was when he spoke to Tiffany's dad, Lewis, and they spoke about Brett's childhood. I spoke about like Brett's parents being married for like 42 years, and also Tiffany's parents have been married for 40 odd years as well. And Brett spoke about the struggle that he'd been through in regards to them providing them with things and stuff like that. And then he asked for his daughter's hand in marriage. And I have to say, even though some people may think that's old-fashioned, that is still a respectful thing to do. So I knew from that point that Brett was saying yes to this woman with all his heart, because there's no way he could have went and asked for daddy's hand in marriage and got up there and said a no. There was no way he could have done that. But it just speaks to Brett's character and how he is and how he thinks and how he behaves, especially with other people. So I found that to be really respectful in the fact that he went and he asked for daddy's hand in marriage. And then when Marshall came in as well, don't get me started. Oh, that was just actual bro love. That was just love between two black men. And it just warmed my heart that they could say that they loved each other. They could show that emotion to each other. So when Albie Jackie keeps saying about how she wants a real man and she wants this, that and the other, that's what you call a real man. A man who is not afraid to show his emotions and allow you to have the safe space to do the same. So, yes, I would say, if I was that way inclined, give me a Marshall any day of the week. Give me a Brett any day of the week too. But sadly, he's taken now. So then we move on to Bliss and Zach. Now, I was not sure, totally not sure about these two, and I predicted that, Bliss will be the one to say no because she'll be still too hung up on, actually coming second to Arena. But they quietly surprised me. Both of them said yes, and it was a beautiful ceremony, and the way they both interacted with each other as well. They really do get along with each other, and they do have that connection with each other as well. But the thing that made me laugh is when you had the two parents waiting to bring Bliss up to the altar. Now, correct me if I am wrong. Somebody please say it in the comments or speak about it in the comments if you want to. But I swear down, Bliss's mother looked like she wanted to slap Bliss's father sideways. She wouldn't even look at him. And every time he tried to come up with like a jokey, negative type vibe like he did through the dinner, Bliss's mum just slapped it back down, like totally said the opposite to what he was saying. And it was quite fun to watch them in terms of that dynamic, because you can tell that these two, they probably didn't split amicably, but they're there for their daughter. They rose up and showed up for their daughter. But I would say that, I am definitely overall shocked that Kwame said yes. I called it right with Paul and Micah. called it right with Tiffany and Brett. Actually, I'll call them Brittany. And yeah, I didn't call it right with Chelsea and Kwame, and I didn't call it right with Zach and Bliss, because I honestly didn't know which way that would go, and I also thought that Bliss would probably say no to Zach. But overall, you know, it weren't a bad outcome. But you let me know what you think in the comments. And as I said, I think the live reunion's coming, so I'll be saying a bit after that live reunion. So I'll be back here ready to chat your ears off again. So as I always say, press that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's all chat together.